why you don't have multiple citizenship. And you
Oh,
want to do things with the federal government because
uh-huh.
one person, I mean, this is for real, but I mean, this is a valid discussion because there are many people out there where you have multiple citizenships and you have multiple passports, which is cute when you're traveling, but when you're trying to be a government contractor,
Mm.
because they want to make sure that your allegiance is to the United States.
We got the legend, Miss Dr. Kizzy Parks, on the line. What's up, ma'am?
What's up? Hello, everyone.
I watched your video that talked about your origin. This you posted just recently. That was amazing. I mean, at 28, you won your first five-figure contract. Been awarded, according to YouTube, awarded over 75 million now. Is that where you are? Awarded over 75 million dollars in government contracts. Help your students win millions of dollars in government contracts. Dr. Kizzy Parks. I mean, what else can I say? What else do we want to say? Just introduce yourself to the people.
I mean, there's a Guinness World Record, but that's for another time.
Oh yeah, the Guinness, and that's I've seen the Guinness World Record in the back. Okay, I gotta know about that. What's the Guinness World Record for? What'd you get it for?
It's for jump rope.
I'm guessing you're having so much fun. What made you want to go break a Guinness World Record as well?
I was inspired by David Goggins. David
Mm-hmm.
Goggins, I love him. I adore him. And so I was inspired. I ended up jumping 182 times in 60 seconds in flip-flops. So it was amazing. I love it.
But why? Why'd you do it? Just you got inspired by him, and he said, "Go break
I,
records."
I was inspired by him because he's accomplished a lot. He's a Black Navy SEAL. He had done other things. He got into ultra running. Now he does smoke jumping. He like doesn't quit. I thought, well, why can't I break a world record? And I had foot surgery, so I couldn't walk for about 3 weeks. So I thought, well, this is an awesome way to celebrate my foot healing because I love jumping rope. I
Uh-huh.
used to take jump roping classes all the time. And
Wow.
so I reached out to Guinness and arranged everything
Get out. And when did you break that record? How long? Like when did this happen?
during
Oh,
COVID,
oh, during COVID.
May 21.
Cool. Cool.
It was like after like things started to kind of open back up. However, the
Mm-hmm.
evaluator that you've all probably seen in that cool jacket,
Mm-hmm.
he was still virtual. So he had to watch the replay with his wife 5 times because he was like, "You're jumping so fast. Even in slow-mo, I couldn't keep up." And
Wow.
yeah, that's how I found out. But yeah, I'll double check the date, but I'm pretty sure it was May of 21.
I love it. I love it. You got so many skill sets. So you broken records there, and then you also broken records in government contracting. How did you
There's
get started in government contracting? Because someone wants to know who was your first mentor. They hear about all these mentors. Like who? How did you get
right.
started in this?
There's a lot of people. I mean, there was like the first, if we're going to take a real step back, like how I found out about the opportunity was in graduate school.
Hmm.
So I think it was Dr. Richard Griffith. I think he shared it. He was maybe even was the chair at the time and said, "Hey, there are
Hmm.
these paid opportunities at Patrick Air Force Base at Defense Equal Opportunity Management Institute. If you're open, apply." And I thought, "Oh, well, this is great. Many of my family members have served in the military. This is kind of my way to give back. I'll do it." So
Hmm.
while I was there, I had no idea that I was on a contract that was connected to this university. And that's a whole nother story. So
Uh-huh.
I didn't understand the whole how money flows and how things are set up. I was just there to learn and to research. And so I was, Ms. Kizzy Parks then. And right before I became Dr. Kizzy Parks, the director of research asked me, Dr. Dan McDonald, if I wanted to stay on as a contractor. So although I agreed to it and he made the offer, I ended up learning from so many people, even the company who was the prime.
Mm-hmm.
I learned from them, like what the contract entailed. How
Mm-hmm.
did they get the contract? There was just a lot that I learned along the way, as well as from a ton of people in the Orlando area. And
Mm-hmm.
I learned from government employees because they would tell me things
Wow.
like, "Oh, you can MIPR money. So the next time somebody wants to buy something from you, have them MIPR the money over to your existing contract as long as they're Department of Defense. Oh, and wait a minute, Kizzy, if you charge this amount, we can use a credit card. So, oh, and for your travel, do this." So I learned a lot from
Wow.
government employees across the board
Mm-hmm.
because we're there to make their life easier. And you don't want somebody making your life difficult. So it was great. It was awesome.
That makes sense. And you were in graduate, or you were finishing graduate school at the time, and you had that opportunity. I know you spoke about there were other people who had that opportunity. Look at where you are now and what happened to them. So I mean, back to what you said. I mean, you didn't wake up back in the day and say, I can't wait to be a government contractor one day. Like, you didn't even know what it was.
No,
But why are you still here kicking it, making it happen? I guess there's no reason to know how, but what happened to them, and what's the difference?
I think it's like with everyone. It's almost like the gym, right? It's like, oh man, I'm going to join a gym. I'm going to work out. I'm going to get that body I'm looking for. Whatever your why is, and you sign up and you feel really good. Whether they offer pizza once a month or whether they don't, you're super excited and you're in it and you're like, yes. And you may go 3 days and you're like, oh my gosh, I hate this. Or the 3 days may turn into 70 and you look like Chef Babette when you're in your 70s. Either way, we all have a different path on this journey. And that's how I see this, where others where the offer was made, for some of them, it really wasn't what they wanted. It wasn't, this is good for now. So this is good for now. And so some, I think one went on, I know she had kids while she was there, I believe. And then I think she teaches. Another one, another one, this is why you don't have multiple citizenship things with the federal government, because one person, I mean, this is for real, but I mean, this is a valid discussion because there are many people out there where you have multiple citizenships and you have multiple passports, which is cute when you're traveling, but when you're trying to be a government contractor, and then another person, their significant other was in the same field as us, and they already knew that they were moving back to the Midwest. So they were like, we don't want to really do this. We want to go to the Midwest. And they had hopes and dreams to do other things. So a lot of the hopes and dreams involved working for somebody else, which there's nothing wrong with working for somebody else. Just like there's nothing wrong if you don't go to the gym. The gym is there if you want it. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you can do it. If you want to win government contracts, you can, but you don't have to. You ain't got to do any of this.
That's excellent. And tell us why the lifestyle is something you chose. I know you spoke in the video, you said, you weren't looking for a job per se, right? You were looking for a certain lifestyle. You weren't looking at, do a 9 to 5, punch a clock. You were looking for a lifestyle. So what did you find?
This is such a great question. I love this question. So at that time, when I first started, you got to keep in mind, like, I was still like actively drinking, and I was still like, woo, I want to find a man and get married. And like, I was in that phase of my life, like going to the club. And so for me, it was, I don't want to be told when I have to work out. It was like this rebellious thing of like, I've just finished graduate school. I'm now Dr. Parks, and everybody kept touting like this career and this job. Like, it's this thing we do in our society, like this thing. And I was like, okay, but I don't really I don't want that.
Right.
And so I wanted everything else. I wanted to be able to dictate. So what it gave me was, through Patrick Air Force Base, that subcontract, I didn't have to be there all the time because I wasn't an employee. And the way it was set up, that was not the requirement. My contract was deliverable based.
What's that mean? So deliverable based meaning that once you do the job
every month. So every month I received, I think at one point it got to be around 10,000 that I got every month. And I had to work on different tasks for them. So it would be maybe contribute to the newsletter, analyze data, do this, speak at this event, did like all of these different things. And then I had a monthly report. So that's different than, okay, I need you here from 9 to 6. You need to be in this cubicle, and people think you're working because you're sitting in a cubicle. That was not what my contract was. So out the gate, I told Dr. McDonald, I said, I will do this, but I am not going to be a butt in the seat full-time equivalent. I said, I'm not doing that. I said, I'm going to take this and grow my business. And he was like, I don't care, Kizzy, do whatever.
He's like, just get the deliverables done. As long as the deliverables happen, they're happy. They don't care.
He didn't care. Other
Wow.
people in that environment cared, but that doesn't matter. That had nothing to do with me. It means you didn't negotiate for yourself.
That's good. That's good. That first contract, it was $100,000
It
contract. Is
ended
that
up
what
being over 100 and ended up being, I invoiced about 10 G a month
10 G's a month
for
off that
several
first
years.
contract for several
And
years, by the way.
yeah, this is not for one-time things, several years. Plus, I
Wow.
took that to grow. So
Uh-huh.
because of the nature of what I did as a subcontractor, I was front facing. And
Mm-hmm.
Diomi would bring in, I don't know about today, but at that time, a lot of different military members, reservists, National Guard would come through
Uh-huh.
Diomi because it's a schoolhouse and it was actually created in response to the race riots.
Oh
So it
wow.
has a substantial legacy and history. So as a result, people would say like, oh, I like that Dr. Parks. Can she speak here? Or, oh, I like that Dr. Parks. Can she do, because most of the people in the building were either military in
Mm-hmm.
uniform or government employees.
Mm-hmm.
And by
Mm-hmm.
nature, we make the assumption like I still have it to this day. My name tag, it's in my book, a picture. I think I'm wearing it in the picture of my book. So people just assumed, oh, she's a government employee. And that particular institution, they
Uh-huh.
would send government employees to provide training as part of their government job, as
Mm-hmm.
well as military. Well,
Mm-hmm.
when it came to Dr. Parks, it was like, oh, no, she's not a contract. I mean, she's not a government employee. She's a
The contract.
contractor. You
Yeah.
got to talk to her. So then that led to more money
Mm.
because the people who would request me, they completely understood contracting. So one gentleman, I think it was the first time I was really paid to speak, and it was Women's Observance Month for
Uh-huh.
Fort Belvoir, and I got a coin from the general for it.
Oh
Got my
wow.
first standing ovation.
Wow.
And I spoke at that event and they paid me, I think it was like a couple $1,000s. And I remember the guy
Yeah.
was like, "You're cheap, Kizzy. This is so cheap." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know."
Did they do that? Was that your travel and stuff too, though? Was that,
I think it was.
was that the one with the
I didn't know what I
travel?
was doing. I didn't
Yeah.
know what I was doing, but I stayed with a friend. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I paid for an airline ticket. I stayed with a friend. I think this friend probably bought most of my food. Like
Yeah.
it,
Yep.
it, it was just going to Fort Belvoir is in DC for anyone who is wondering. So that
Mm-hmm.
happened. Then I got connected to the EO reservist and
Mm-hmm.
I spoke and got paid at their diversity equity event in New Orleans. Then from
Nice.
there, I got connected to DC Pass and I
Nice.
got a 6-figure contract providing coaching and training. And I trained all new DoD supervisors for like, I think a year, maybe a year and a
Get
half.
out of here. So
No,
I mean, so first you're making a couple of thousand to speak, and then next thing you know, you're getting this contract, that contract. Then you got a 6-figure contract to just coach and teach them how to do different things and divert. That's amazing.
in addition to the contract at Diomi.
That was still going the whole time.
Yeah, because that went on for almost 5 years.
Oh my goodness. So here's what I think a lot of people are thinking. They see me, Dr. Fisher, Dr. Park. They see the doctor. Okay, now how can the average person do this? Because it's like maybe hopefully they get it that you were an average person because you're a graduate student. You're just like this kind of came across your desk.
Sure
But for
did.
someone who says, "Well, I'm not a doctor. I don't have a specialized, gift," like how can the average person get into this?
It's like potato salad.
Tell me more.
Let me tell you.
Tell me more.
You
Potato
know,
salad. Got it.
there's some people out there that, man, they really love raisins in their potato salad. I don't know who these people are, but apparently on the internet. And there's somebody, maybe you're watching, you're like, listen, y'all don't understand. It's amazing. It slaps, whatever. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. There's the New York style. I'm going based on my recollection at Publix, New York
Okay.
style, Southern style. We all have, but I make the best. My mom makes the best. My aunt
Mhm.
makes the best.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, regardless of how and what you do to your potato salad or
Mhm.
wherever the country, I remember I had some amazing potato salad in Trinidad. I'll never forget that. Oh, it was so good. There are some fundamentals. You're using a potato, I hope, maybe
Makes
some
sense.
onion, maybe some kind of mayonnaise-y thing.
Mhm.
At the
Mhm.
end, and it's some eggs. What the other ingredients, that's you. That's your
Mhm.
thing. The government contracting is no different. The PhD is just a different flavor of potato salad. That's all it is. It
Mhm.
doesn't change the fact that we are both people
Mhm.
providing a thing to the government to solve a problem in which they're paying us for it. We're entrepreneurs. It doesn't change the fact that it's potato salad. No matter if somebody puts food coloring in it, regardless if they use the little red potatoes, the big potatoes, they use a Japanese sweet potato, it's still potato salad. And so for those of you listening, you don't have to have a college degree. You don't have to have a high school diploma. You don't have to have a PhD. What you have to have is resourcefulness and that will to want to sell to the government. That's what's key. There are so many opportunities. There's thousands of opportunities available right now. And if you're like, listen, I found like right now, there's one for fencing parts. So if you're like, listen, I'm going to make it work. I'm going to figure it out. I'll figure out fencing. Why not? I know what a fence is. And maybe you have a history of putting up a fence. Why can't you bid on it? Why can't you bid? There's people who put raisins in potato salad and they're really confident about that. Why not?
Why not?
There might be somebody put pickles in potato salad. I don't know. I'm not this connoisseur of potato salad, but I know people do weird things. So why not do it and get paid for it?
Right. And I tell people all the time, I love you said resourceful. If you can be resourceful and go, okay, the government wants A, I can go provide that for the government, or I can find someone to partner with to provide that to the government. But let's go give the government fencing. Let's go give the government what they want. Make your potato salad. I'm gonna get a t-shirt. Make your potato salad.
That's right. You gotta make your potato salad because everybody's got their, maybe you use Miracle Whip, maybe you use the other mayonnaise, maybe you're vegan. It doesn't matter what you're selling to the government, how you sell to the government, which platform you use, you're still selling to the government. It doesn't change. They're the client.
How do you go about communicating with departments? And do you have a preferred department you want to work with? But can you speak of the communication in general? I mean, whatever you want to speak to in that.
You know, it's like cutting a pizza. You know, you can cut it up. I
love these food ideas.
Okay, I love it because everybody can relate to this. You know, it's like pizza. You can cut up in the little squares. You could have a big hunkin' piece like a Chicago style. You can have that big hunkin' square that's Detroit style. And that's how I look at the communication. It varies. So for instance, for my early years, I didn't really know. It was all new to me, this like office politics, because of what I did and that I was getting paid, but I was doing the work. I was involved in the fishbowl of military, contractors, government, the people who would come in and visit and go through the training. And then me over here, who's like, oh, let me just make everybody happy and bake cookies, like frills and things like that. I didn't have any idea what was going on. So in that situation, communication was very different for me because you can equate it in many ways to what life is like in a company. And so one of the things I'll say as I continue answering this question is the biggest takeaway from that. You are a guest. No matter who you're communicating to with the federal government, state, local, you are a guest. You do not live there. You are not a government employee unless you're a government employee doing some contracting on the side when you might want to look into that. Other than that, you are a guest. So remember that. You got to know your place. We are guests. We are there to provide something for them. The second thing is you never talk bad about these people. Because for instance, something happened with one of my students where he sold fencing materials and the address ended up being different. And although he verified it, the trucking company went to deliver it and that was not the address. Then like the Corps was blaming the CO and then they were both talking trash about each other. And it's like, you never engage. It's like, you don't engage. You're not like, yeah, that's right. No. Like that's a big thing. As far as like easiest to communicate and favorite and things like that, it's like, for me, it's people who really value what we're providing. If it's a contract where it's simply like, well, you know, we've had these people on contract since the Reagan administration, and you know, we're just looking for another government contractor, and you know, we're just going to go based on price. And it's like, you don't even care who has this contract. Your allegiance is to the people who are executing the work, which it should be because those are the people you're seeing. But where do I fall into this? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
You don't care about that. Also, for those of you who have no military experience.
What's up, guys? Hey, don't click away. Oh, you can't. This is not an ad. This is my actual channel. Listen, guys, if you want to work with me and actually do government contracting with me, guess what? There's an opportunity to do that. You can apply for a phone call with me and my team. All you got to do is check the link in this bio or check the link below or go to www.thecontractingblueprint.com. We'll do a free 45-minute call with you, and we can see if we can help you get started in government contract. All right, go ahead, get back to the video.
Experience, I'm not referring to serving, but you've never been to any military, nobody in your family, you never dated anyone. That's something you should be aware of, because you never want to say, I get all the ranks messed up. That's insulting.
Oh,
and I've had contractors say these things. I've witnessed it.
Oh, no.
Okay. I think it's cute. It's like officers have their rank at a certain position on their uniform, enlisted have their rank at a certain position on. And it's just very disrespectful. Be aware. Make sure, especially when dealing with the military, you use titles. Sir, ma'am, Mr., doctor, because they do that with me. It's always, this is how important it was. I used to be on this joint diversity, this National Guard joint diversity task force. I was on this with the overall head of the National Guard Bureau. And because I'm Dr. Parks, not that I'm not Dr. Parks, I'm just saying, I'm Dr. Parks, they would sit me near the political appointees, the SESers, because that command,
they put it in the order of who your status is. They set you next to that. Wow.
That's how important this is. Wow. If you're dealing with any DoD agency, you want to be respectful, you want to be pleasant, and also keep in mind, some people might get offended. Mrs., like Shirley.
That's true.
Do I call you Shirley? Don't take any of it personal, but also be respectful. Not, oh, I talked to this person, SGTS. Look it up.
Right.
Look up the range.
You
can see what sergeant stands for. There's a big difference between a sergeant and a general. Just be aware of these things. The other thing is, keep in mind what they do. For instance, we had a contract with National Science Foundation. It's National Science Foundation. Most of the people have PhDs. They fund research. They fund universities. Sometimes NSF can be considered a little controversial because of what they fund in research. So you're dealing with these these brains. You're dealing with a certain type of customer.
Right.
That's completely different than Food and Drug Administration.
That makes sense.
And it's completely different than if you're dealing with Department of Interior, Fish and Wildlife.
Right, the Forest Department. You got people that's out there in the wilderness. You got people doing science. There's two different types of people.
They're all different kinds of people. Forest could be real chill, maybe real laid back. They may even dress really laid back. That doesn't mean you roll up in jean cutoffs and flip-flops. But it's something for you to be aware of. Is no different. It's no different than, as much as, let's say you like a Starbucks and you go to the Starbucks in your neighborhood. You're like, that's cool. That's cool. You come to the Starbucks here in Tulum. It's a little different. It's got a little Tulum twist.
I'm sure.
You go to a Starbucks in a really high-end neighborhood and you're like, what? Ooh. I remember the one I went to and they were like delivering you, serving you food. And I was like, they serve food here? What?
On platters and brought it out to you?
I don't think they do it anymore. And then they had the Starbucks where they had the special like black aprons and they would get this certain certification I learned about in Dallas. It's like that. You may think, oh, come on, Kizzy, Starbucks is Starbucks. No, the government is not just the government. Every single agency, every single department can vary, but they're just people. That's all you got to remember. They're just people.
That's good. I tell people that they are just people, guys. And I think that's the hardest part. And I'm gonna ask you, what do you think the hardest part is for new people? But I sometimes think the hardest part for new people is just like that communication of being, I'm working with the government. How do I communicate to the government? I'm not sure how to go about this. I have a question on solicitation. And sometimes I'll tell my students, did you reach out to the CO? Did you send an email? Did you call? They're like, no. I'm like, well, how are you going to get the answer to the question if you don't like reach out and find out? And people are just afraid to communicate. But I think you did a great job addressing it. But what would you say is the hardest thing that people are struggling with to get started with this?
Is they don't believe in themselves. We live in a society where we talk about it like in kindergarten and preschool. Oh, believe and love all the little kid stuff and all the cartoons.
Rah.
Right. But then what happens when you're 17 and you're 14 and you're 27 and you're 31 and you're 71? Where's all that?
It's gone.
unless you seek it out or you read a quote on Instagram or TikTok or something. What I find is people just, they don't believe in themselves, but there's no reason you shouldn't believe in yourself. God is with us all. There's no reason you can't do this.
Yes.
There's nothing here where this is not, if I'm trying to sell to Google, I wouldn't even know where to begin. I can go to their supplier website and register, and then I'll get a cute email, but who cares? They're not going to want to buy from me. I'm going to have to meet somebody who has influence and go about that. Because I learned that when I first started out, I actually subcontracted for a company who specialized in diversity and inclusion. And so while I was doing all the government stuff, I also was working on projects with TIAA-CREF, with Medtronic, with different universities. And so I watched how they did business, how they sold, how they advertised, how they made money, because I didn't know. I was coming directly out of graduate school. That's why it's really important just to believe in yourself and trust yourself, because the process is, especially on the government side, is way, in my opinion, way easier.
I agree. I tell people all the time, it's definitely federal. I know some people get in that debate, federal, state, local. They're all great. You know, like pick one. I always tell people all the time, pick one, get started there, make money there, and then, you know, maybe diversify from there, whatever you guys want to do. Or if you want to do all three, go for it. But you might struggle. But here's what I want to ask, or I want to kind of get an idea of, you're in Tulum right now. You're in Mexico. Last time I talked to you, you're still in Mexico because you're living in Mexico. And someone asked in my chat here, they said, how did she go from, and again, they're just their terms, how did she go from a subcontractor to a business owner to now she's in Mexico? And I think they're speaking to subbing versus prime versus you not physically being there, still making money. How did that happen?
The work I talked about, the speaking engagements, things of that nature, all of that, I, for the most part, was a prime.
You were the prime on. That was your prime contract.
I was the prime
contract. You're the prime. And you're fulfilling them. You're the prime fulfilling the contract.
At that point in time, I was doing a lot of the fulfillment. Some of them were simplified acquisitions. There were a couple where, for ease of contracting, they would funnel me through. One, I got funneled through a Native Hawaiian contract. Another one, I got funneled through some Fortune 500 contract, because they were just like, oh, this is not a lot of money to us, so we don't want to issue you a contract for $100,000.
Wow. You're like, I'll take it.
I know. I was like, oh, whatever. As I was going through this journey, I came in contact with a lot of people in Orlando, because many just think of like Mickey and Minnie, and Orlando area is huge for government contracting. Really? It's a huge, huge, huge mecca. And I got to know this gentleman, Kevin. He probably still owns his business to this day. And his specialty was staffing, IT, engineering. And I would meet with him often over lunch. And I remember him saying, like, this is great, Kizzy. You're getting these diversity contracts, you're getting these training, you're getting these speaking engagements, and making this money. That's great. He's like, and then what? He's like, you need to get into staffing. You need to do more. You need to make more. And he was like, and then he started to talk about some of his contracts. He had contracts where I think they were teaching cooking classes on submarines or ships or something. He had the most peculiar contracts of anyone I met. Well, at that point in time.
Right.
He had a bunch. He had staffing, these different CETA contracts, these engineering technology, massive contracts. I just was like, I was like, no, I'm not going to do staffing. I was like, Kevin, I didn't come this far in life to do staffing. I don't even know why I had such a horrible view on staffing. It was the most ridiculous thing. It was like Kizzy versus team staffing. It was like the enemy number one.
What's wrong with staffing? What's wrong with staffing? I don't get it.
I don't know. I just was not about that life. I was like so insulted. It wasn't until about 2013, and by this time I had my 8A for almost 2 years, year and a half. I had hired a company to look at opportunities. Basically what they did is they outsourced to somebody in another country who looked at forecasts, and this person was like, hey, there's this opportunity with the USDA. And what ended up happening is I ended up getting that was my first $4 million sole source 8A contract. Not my first $4 million. So I got that, and it involved staffing. It was like 5 people. So I started doing it, and also I was growing and developing as a person. You know, the thing is, we all are at different points in this journey. There's some of you where due to your life experiences, you're like, woo, you know, for me, it was like, woo, oh, wait a minute, shoot, crash and burn, let's get, so there was a lot of, there's been a lot of that. So I got that opportunity, and several years into that, I really leaned into staffing, and I'm like, you know, I really want to do it. And what helped with that was my mentor, Barbara, who I met her in Orlando. She's a retired
First of all,
Navy
all the
commander.
themes, like you said earlier, look at all these mentors, all these
Yeah.
people that poured into your life. I want to throw that out there because you're like, okay, this person, and the guy in Orlando, and then the staff, and then the team. I'm like, I love it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I want to emphasize, these are people who I met and would have, like, especially with Kevin, we kind of had a regular lunch date that we would do. It, you know, it wasn't anything where I really paid. I did pay for a proposal writing course. I did use free resources, but you got to remember, I was in this place of like, woo! I mean, I wasn't where probably most of you are. So as I go on and I meet Barbara, who's a retired Navy commander, she at that time had like 225 employees. And so I was like, man, I want to be like that. And she really broke it down to me and said, you know, Kizzy, the full-time equivalents, your employees, your staff, your personnel, she's like, they pay the bills because you're billing the government, whatever you're billing every month, you get your margin, and then you can go from there. So her method was, what's very common is having a ton of people. So I thought, let me do that. And so I just kind of mirrored that. I was looking into staffing. I was doing it. We did what we needed to do, but it wasn't until I met my colleague, David, where he really pulled things full circle, and he started talking about middleman, but it wasn't, but you got to remember this. I was doing middleman, but we didn't call it middleman.
It wasn't called middleman. Okay, got you.
So it was really common. Like, for instance, I had a contract where I paid this woman, I think I paid her $250,000 to subcontract for me.
Wow.
You know, it's middlemaning.
It's a middleman. You got the contract. You paid her to do the work. You paid her $250,000, quote unquote, middleman in a way. Okay, got you. It wasn't called that. So what did you guys call it? What was it called back then?
Oh, no, it's just called subcontracting.
Subcontracting. You're prime getting the sub.
Right, because middleman is not a government contracting term, but subcontracting is.
Got it.
So it was just subcontracting. I had flipped Oculus headsets to Maxwell Air Force Base because we have Oculus headsets in several of our contracts with USDA. So we sold them to them. Again, I just, you know, so I met David, and that's when he started to talk to me about like the different contracts he had bid on in terms of sign language, interpretation, housing, religion. What else did he bid on at that time? I think, well, he eventually ended up with the illegally caught fish, and so
illegally caught fish.
Yeah, illegally caught fish. You have to have a place to store it.
Oh, wow. So his contract was that people who caught illegal fish, they would store it, and
because they would take the fish from people who illegally caught them, and then they store them.
Oh, wow.
All these kinds of contracts. And right now he provides all the housing to the victims in Maui.
Wow. He has the contract divided. So, and then the thing is, again, he's not a middleman, or whatever you want to call it.
He is.
I mean, yeah, the term. So he has this company, and that he finds the sub or the company that can provide the housing. He sets the deal up, and he's used the middleman strategy. It's called a middleman strategy.
All these contracts I'm sharing with you, all of these, from the illegally caught fish to the interpretation, to the sign language, to the housing, the other housing, not that Maui, other housing, HVAC, you know, roads, everything. And he's doing, I would say, between 20 and 50 million a year. So,
wow.
But he started out not doing that. So then as I talked to David, I was like, oh, wow, this is really intriguing, because everyone in Orlando was doing the same thing, which can happen in life. Like everybody has the same kind of car. Maybe you're in the same activities as the family next door, or you start to kind of dress the same, or you go to the same things. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's okay to not do that. And so, but I didn't even know that was an option. I just knew, okay, government contracting, you win a contract, you usually have people involved, or if you're selling weapons, because I've met a lot of people who sold weapons, that's what you do. I didn't know about this whole like, oh, you can illegally caught fish and religion. And I was like, oh my God, that makes sense because of the chapel at Patrick Air Force Base.
Yeah.
I think I'd actually been in that chapel before. And so it was really mind-blowing to learn of that, because I can't emphasize enough of all of the government events. And I went to a lot of events, y'all. Like I went to, they would have been opening an envelope and I was at that event. I was at every government event known to man across America.
Yeah, someone just asked, they would say, curious, did you go to a lot of conferences to meet all these people? Someone just asked that a second ago.
Yeah. I mean, I did, but a lot of the people I met really early on, but I did. I met a lot of people at these conferences. I made friends with a lot of the military members because the military members retire. And so some of them I hired to teach for me. Some of them I'm still close with this day. One of them I ended up mentoring. So with all that said, it was like, wow, there's so many ways. It's like the potato salad.
Wow.
Like you put green beans in your potato salad?
Right.
Okay. You know, it's like,
right.
You know, it's you discover this and then you taste it and you're like, that sounds crazy, but it actually is good. It's like that. So how I ended up here. So I'm going through this progression, I'm learning all this stuff. And then I was like, okay, staffing is the way. So I ended up forming joint ventures with my mentor. We ended up winning a $23 million contract with FDA. We ended up doing all these things. And then I got connected to a company where we have a contract. We sub in the state of Florida, and we have anywhere from 15 to 40 people on that contract because it's temporary staffing. So really leaned into that. And I leaned into the most important thing, and that is what makes me happy and who am I and what do I want?
And
because is to be here in Tulum.
That's right. Okay. I was like, what's that?
I decided, I was like, for so many years I've given to everybody but myself. So I reached out to this woman. I was in her virtual training. Her name is Brittany Carbone. And I said, hey, can I pay you to train me for a month? And this is pivotal because if you don't ask, to my earlier remark, don't be mad because somebody else negotiated a better deal. If you don't ask, hey, I know it says that the term is net 30. Well, what if I give you a 1% discount? Can you pay me a net 10? The worst they're going to say is no. Okay, I just wanted to ask. I'm just trying to save you taxpayer dollars. And so with Brittany, she didn't have a program. She didn't say, yeah, come to Tulum and I'll train you. She actually doesn't train people anymore.
What? So what does she train you to do? Like you said, I'm paying you for a month.
We work out. We don't work out like that, but we work out.
I was like, wait, you paid a personal trainer to work out? Yeah. So you paid a personal trainer to come with you to Tulum to work you out while you're in Tulum?
She lives in Tulum.
She lives in Tulum. Oh,
so
okay.
I said, can I come to Tulum? Because I was in her virtual coaching program. So I was in her virtual coaching program. I said, I'm going to move to Tulum for a month and work with you because I really need to change things. So that was in October to November. I did that. And then I said, I'm going to be back. And at first I'm like, I'm going to come back January until May. Wait, no. January until June. No. January till November. No. Now I'm like, I'm not leaving. So I just really love it here for various reasons. And because we have the ongoing multi-year staffing work, we have systems and processes in place for ISO certified. I have the most amazing team known to man. I am not involved in the work.
Wow.
I'm not involved. I'm on our Slack channel, but they all know I don't talk to anyone except for certain people. And it's not to be disrespectful. That's not what makes me happy.
Wow.
So over here is what makes me happy. And when I say over here, I'm not talking about Tulum, Mexico. I'm talking about what I'm now doing in my life. So, and this is for any company. Anytime somebody gets systems and processes in place, think about Rihanna. She's not the CEO of Fenty. I don't believe she's the owner. But she plays a huge role, but she also understands her bigger role. Her bigger role is she got paid millions of dollars to perform at that pre-wedding event.
At pre-wedding in India, yeah.
And guess what? They're launching Fenty India.
Are they really? Ah, get out of here. So
Makes
she
complete
can make
sense.
big deals because when you're the owner, not the CEO. When you're the owner, you can see this. You can see like, okay, I can make the big decisions, but the day to day, the speaking to this people, the speaking to that person, that's not going to move the needle for you when you want to be even bigger, or have enjoy your quality of life.
Right.
Wow.
So that's the big thing. And that's how I got here. I'm here. I love it. I work out with Brittany. We work out Monday through Friday. I'm
Let's
actually doing a
go.
fitness competition in November.
Let's go.
I
Let's
know,
go.
it's crazy.
You doing it. Hey, this is amazing. This came full circle. Just to recap, like 28 years old, you get a 5-figure contract or 6-figure contract, the first one, and you're like, I'm a graduate student. You're doing the contract. You're a sub on the contract. Then you become a prime, and now you're doing contracts. You got a bunch of money coming in here and there, and then you start to figure out, oh wait, let me build systems. Let me build things in which I can middleman. Let me go find somebody. I don't know how to clean an HVAC, but like for me personally, I have 3 HVAC contracts, right? Let me go find an HVAC cleaning company or HVAC company, have them do the work. You kind of, quarterback the whole deal. And now you're in Tulum, working out, enjoying life.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And you may wonder, well, wait a minute, hold up. Can you do that? Can you access websites? I thought you had to be a US citizen. So the answer is you don't have to be a US citizen.
Nope.
You don't have to live in America. Your company doesn't have to have necessarily, its headquarters. It doesn't have to have a headquarters in America. However, though, it's good to have a VPN if you need to go to that certify website. So we are an EDWOSB, and in order for me to access that site, because the information is based on me as the owner, it's way easier for me to do it than to task a team member to like upload my taxes and put in, different documents. It's like, I already have this on my computer. So you definitely will need a VPN. Yeah.
For sure. I'm writing notes here.
No,
I'm like, I want to do more travel VPN. I was in Dubai. I went to Dubai last year, and I was still doing government contracting.
Yes.
And I didn't have a VPN, but everything still worked. They all just worked. It just worked great. And people just, how are you in Dubai doing government contract? I was like, I don't know. I got my Google number rang. Like someone from California called me and was like, hey, Wesley, they had a question about the government contract. And I'm like literally sitting in my, hotel room in Dubai, like, yeah, da da da. I'm like, the phone works. And then like, I went to sam.gov while I was on the beach. I'm like, okay, the internet works. So why can't you be resourceful, like you said earlier, and use the internet and use the phone to do government contracting around the world? Why not?
There's no reason you can't. And it's also, again, your journey. This is part of my journey. And I always love travel. I read one topic that was unique in my field of study, industrial organizational psychology, was expats. And one of my mom's cousins, he was an expat for ExxonMobil. He ended up living in Lagos, Nigeria, I think for a couple years.
Wow.
He ended up living there. His home is Houston, Texas. And so I always was fascinated around people who would just uproot their lives and move to another country, whether it was for a job, whether it was 90-day fiance,
wow.
or whatever your reason for doing it.
Yeah.
And so being here, it's like, oh my God, it hit me the other day. Like, you are really like an expat. And a lot of the people here that I've met are expats. It's so beautiful because it's like when I learn, oh my God, you can sell to the chapel and I can do HVAC and I don't have to be an HVAC and I can do HVAC. Oh, that makes complete sense. And so it's like being here, it's like, I can live in Iceland and I can live in China and I can visit here. And oh my gosh, I can go to Belize because it's like 5 hours or maybe it's 8 hours away. And it's like, it's mind blowing because it shows you, wow, we were taught amazing things in America, still number one, don't get it twisted.
Amen.
But it just opens up. There really is this whole new world, like in the songs.
Amen.
And you can go anywhere you want because as you said, as long as you have internet. Now, if you go to a country or a place where they ain't got internet or they don't like us, that's on you. You may not want to bring your computer that trip, but I mean, other than that, like, and then in case anybody's like, well, what about safety or what? Listen, there's no mass shootings here. So I'm cool. I mean, I'm really safe. I'm not caught up in any shenanigans. So nobody worries about Dr. Parks here. It's a touristy area and it's beautiful. And I've traveled throughout the state and I'm going to travel more. My goal is to go to every state within Mexico.
Wow. How many states do they have? I don't even know.
I believe there's 32.
32. Yeah, that sounds, you know what? I did know that. I've heard that number. So that's amazing. And I'm glad you said about the internet. Someone even just commented, well, what if the internet shuts down? Well, again, back to being resourceful. Be resourceful.
That happens here. So they're in the middle. I'm in the Yucatan Peninsula. If anybody wants to look it up, I'm like an hour and change from Miami. So they're in the middle of creating this like Mayan train that goes throughout the Yucatan Peninsula. So what they will occasionally do is shut down the power.
Wow.
But I'm resourceful. I will typically go to Playa del Carmen. It's a 50-minute taxi ride, which you may think 50 minutes, it's not that expensive because I have government contracts. I mean, like I have revenue.
Right.
So I will sometimes they'll let us know ahead of time. I'll go stay at a Marriott hotel.
Wow.
And then you have the internet and then I'm a Marriott ambassador. So then I get upgraded and all this free. So it's like, you have to be resourceful. And for those who may not be able to do that, we do have these amazing places called co-working spaces. And some of them have the Elon Musk internet.
Someone just said, Starlink. Why not use Starlink? Someone just said, why not use Starlink?
Look at that. Some of the locations here they have it in Tulum, Mexico, y'all. Like they have Starlink. And so a lot of the co-working spaces, there's tons of them here. You don't have to even go to Playa. You could go to Bacalar. You could go to another city. But the thing is, it's about you plan. I have this is one of my mega chargers that I have. It's always charged. It's just that you just plan. And it's not like the power goes out every day because I know there are places in the world where they don't have stable electricity. But it's just about being prepared for if and when that happens.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say this. I'm not trying to point fingers at anyone. I know some people, and I'm not saying people who are listeners are thinking that. Some people use a lot of things as excuses, right? Some people will say, what if the government shuts down? Or what if this happens? What if you get hit by a car tomorrow? Like, guys, listen, there's always going to be something. I almost feel like we're going down a rabbit hole. People are saying, what about the internet? What about the power? What about the war and da-da-da-da-da? It's like, listen, there's always going to be something, right? So be resourceful, move forward in life, but don't use it as I didn't get started because I heard about a government shutdown that might happen in 6 months. What?
Right. I mean, and that's what holds, I think the second thing that really holds people back is like, we're programmed to fight more for our excuses than for ourselves. Like, why would you move? Why would you marry that person? Why are you wearing that outfit? Why would you do government contracting? Why don't you just do this? Like, there's a lot of like these whys and these snappy whys, and they come from people where maybe they had hopes and dreams.
Right.
They never acted on them. They maybe took the safe route and they may respond out of love, or maybe they respond because they're bitter that they never realized their hopes and dreams. And then especially for those of you that are like, okay, whatever, and you make it, oh no. Then they really want to tear you down because now you represent what they really never did. You succeeded.
Daggers. Woo!
It is. And so it's super important to, as you go through this journey, you surround yourself with amazing people. You surround yourself with people who are going to lift you up, who are going to encourage you, because the people that you think, it could be your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, your stepdad, your baby daddy, your baby mama, your kids, you think like, oh, they're all going to be so supportive of me. And more than likely, they're not. And again, it's not because they don't like you. It's because of what you represent.
If you make it, then it's like, dang, that validates that they
really didn't make it.
They really
didn't make it.
What do you mean? You had this same you came from the same high school as me. You came from the same place as me, and you did it, and I didn't. That means I didn't do what I had to do in life.
Right. What do you mean you won your first contract? You know, and then they think you cheated. They think you lied. They think you're a scam, because again, that's what we're programmed to do. Oh, the lady on Who in the Heck Did I Marry? She lied. It's the same. We make this up for anything. What did they, oh, how'd they get that gold medal? They need to test them. Are they doping? How did they get that movie role? Is it because of her last name? I mean, it's like, wow. Woo,
We go down the rabbit hole. We ain't gonna do that. I respect your time. We don't want to go down the rabbit hole.
Good.
We can get into it. We can get into it. So tell the people, I mean, I know I want to wrap this up. I want to respect your time. How can people reach out to you? I already had multiple people say, what's their social media? How do I reach her? So tell you.
So you guys are so sweet. Okay, so on YouTube, it's Kizzy Parks. And you'll see I have blonde hair. It's really my hair. On YouTube is Kizzy Parks.
There you go.
On TikTok, because just like with you, they're fake accounts.
Everywhere.
It's so weird. I'm like, of all the people, okay, that's cool. So on TikTok, it's the account where I think I have like 14,000 subscribers. If you, and listen to me, y'all, if you DM me on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, or in my Facebook group, usually it's me that gets back to you. Okay, so just remember that. But you can follow me on TikTok. I've been going more live there. Kizzy Parks. Remember the account. You'll see it's me. Then also on Instagram, I'm on there, Kizzy M Parks. I'm on LinkedIn. You can't miss me on LinkedIn, Kizzy Parks. Facebook, I'm on there. And if you DM me, you can ask me about the Facebook group. I'll give you the link for the Facebook group. I also have my amazing book, GovCon Winners Way. You got to get the book, winnerswaybook.com, winnerswaybook.com. Get the book, and you get free bonuses when you do that. But just reach out. All I want to do, and what's super important to me, where's my, I wanted to read, here it is. I like to read it verbatim.
Okay.
I have my list of my affirmations and manifesting items here.
Let's go.
And like, what's really important to me is always to bring love, light, and inspiration via my content, products, services to a billion people. A billion people, because as a little kid, I always loved McDonald's. I always loved that. I always loved that. I was like, wow, that's so amazing. Have more fries. So, so it truly is. It truly is. And it reflects in what I do and who I am. And it's important to have lists too, y'all, of what you are looking for and what you want to do in life. So please connect. I won't be a stranger. We can always do this more often. I'm here for a long time. I do pop in to the States maybe once a month to do different things that I need to do. Okay. Also, if you come to Tulum, Mexico, look me up. Randomly, I ran into one of my mentees when I was leaving the gym. So, but please, if you come to Tulum, Mexico, I'm here. I'm not here to say I'm gonna charge you to meet me. I mean, I'm here, I'm living my life.
Living your life, doing your thing. That's amazing. That's seriously, thank you so much for your time. Now I'm hungry. I gotta go get something to eat because we talked a lot about food. Thank you, Dr. Parks. I really appreciate it. We got to do this again. We'll talk again. I'm sure we'll talk again soon. Yes. All right, Ms. Parks. Be blessed. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Hey guys, thank you for watching the video. Hey, please, if you guys could, thumbs up, hit the like button, all that good stuff, and please subscribe. And if you guys could, share this with somebody, man. If you know someone who this can benefit, someone who can get started in government contracting, please share the video, guys. So subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.